Yeah. There we go. All right. I think we are good to go. Hello and welcome, everybody. I'm Tammy Laubacher and see some new faces. So welcome. I'm usually here with my co-pilot, my hubby, and he's my partner in crime, and he is outside working. We're in Ohio, so we're in like our last week of decent weather, and he has to get our hot tub fixed before I have some shoulder surgery, and we hit freezing weather next week. So he's outside working, so I'm trying to do this one alone tonight by myself. So bear with me. If you have any questions, just jump in. Feel free to unmute and come on in and talk. We're here. We answer your questions. We help you through your struggles, get you over the hurdles, celebrate your wins with you, whatever we can do. So just come on in. Don't be shy. I will start out. I'm obviously struggling a little bit. I finally have a surgery date, so I am still I'm having to take some Advil and things like that. So I should be on our 4th or 5th week of our 72-hour clean fast is what we normally do. I did have to back down this week and do back to macro or sardines just because I'm having to take some Advil for a little bit of pain. So again, it's not perfect. It's not where I want to be and want to be doing, but I got to listen to my body and do the best I can do. Lance is on a clean 72, so he's rocking it out. He's good to go. But I had 1 can of mackerel today and black coffee, black tea, water, trying to stay as consistent as I can on everything else, but having to listen to my body. Just if I take that Advil on an empty stomach, it just tears me up a little bit. So I had to work all day, so I didn't want to be yucky. So I'm doing the best I can do moving forward in it. And I think that's part of the process is learning how to navigate when life kicks you in the gut. We just got to keep going and do the best we can do. It's not always perfect, and that's okay. You know, that's not a fail. It's life. So we can do this. We're all in this together. So come on in, Olivia, come and check in.
Hi, everybody. Doing good. Hi, Victoria, right? Yes, I started my 5th week of the 8 in a row fasts, and started it with a can of sardines and a can of cod liver, which I don't particularly like, but it seems to really help. Those little fishes do something.
There's something magic in them, ain't there?
There is. And luckily my DBRs are still at 4 at the end of my fast, and that's
I get that 4
weeks in a row. This last time my ketones went up to 10.1, I was surprised. I don't think they've ever been that high.
That is a record. I have never heard anybody go that high. So
and I really think that it is the sardines, and it's also that I have stayed in ketosis for a little over 5 weeks now.
Nice.
So yeah, so I think that all of that has helped, and my body, I think, is finally allowed to start healing. And so yeah, so I'm feeling good. My clothes fit a lot looser now, and I'm fitting into some of those dresses that I've been hanging on to, hoping that I would fit into them one day. And so that feels good, and I feel good, physically good, and yeah, it's great.
Olivia, I'm just so proud of you. You have rock star status at this point. So you've broken records of all my coaching people. You've got the numbers that I've never even seen. So I'm just so proud of you. Can you tell us a little bit about what is your eating window like on your refeeding days? What are you eating? How big is your window? What are you doing to stay in that consistently keto for those 5 weeks? So give us a little info.
Right. So currently, in years past, I did like 13 months of 1 meal a day. And I did okay, but after a while, I just felt like I couldn't eat quite enough within that hour for me, but it felt good. And then I went back to eating just 2 meals a day, and I was mostly eating like between 11 and 3, sometimes 4 o'clock, depending on social things that were going on. But right before the 21-day metabolic kick program, I decided to go ahead and, because I kept hearing that, bring your window up closer to sunrise kind of thing. And I had not done it any earlier than 10 in the morning because I wasn't really hungry when I woke up. So then, I kept hearing, well, if you're not hungry, don't eat until you're hungry kind of thing. So I finally decided, you know what, I'm going to start eating breakfast at 8, even though I'm not really that hungry. So now I eat between 8 and 9, and I finish my last meal before 12, my second meal before 12.
Now, where are the sardines fitting in there then?
So I don't eat sardines every day.
Okay.
I only eat them because I'm trying really hard, but I really don't like them. So I only eat the sardines at the beginning of the 72-hour fast, and then the first meal when I break the fast.
Perfect. So what does your meals look like when you're eating breakfast at 8 o'clock in the morning? What does that meal look like?
Sometimes I have a homemade hamburger patty with some eggs, or sometimes it's eggs and bacon. Sometimes I have pork belly that I usually cook up quite a bit so that I have it for the week. So pork belly, and then I usually eat a tablespoon of butter, and then I do have broth. Chicken broth, sometimes beef broth. Yeah. So.
I love how simple you keep it. And I think most of us veterans, the deeper you get into it and the longer that you stay consistent like that, your diet just gets simpler and simpler because you eliminate the noise, you eliminate all the outside stuff and everything like that. And it really is the answer to moving forward and staying consistent, is just make it as simple as you can. And, it's just a win the whole way around. When you find out what it takes to get your chemistry in the right direction, Olivia, it's like she's found her little niche right now, and it's just rinse and repeat until that no longer works. And she's just in that healing mode of ride that wave as long as you can. Olivia's done the work for a couple of years. I mean, she's been with me for a couple of years, so I don't know how long she's been all together, but you've mastered it. And that's the beauty of this isn't a one size fits all and everybody does the exact same thing. It is learning to navigate your numbers and what works for your body. And then when you find that groove, just ride it out and go. And Olivia, I'm just so proud of you because it's just such an inspiration, especially to all of us women that are north of 40 and 50 years old. It's like to find that little groove that you fit in, that the numbers stay consistent and doesn't keep rocking the boat. That is the beauty of it. And that's not easy to do. Staying consistent for us girls with the hormone issues, it's tough. I mean, it's tough on the guys too, but it's really tough on the girls with the hormones. So I just applaud you and I'm so proud of you. So good job.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Hey, Jim, glad you made it. Jody, you want to check in next? Oh, hang on. We got you muted, hon.
Yeah. No, it's all good. We're still doing meat comparisons and that's working. And so really just kind of resting still. Some days I get in ketosis, a little better than 0.5. The other day I had a day where I didn't change a thing. I ate exactly what I eat, and I hit ketones 1.3, I think, and blood sugar like 92. It's like, okay, most of the time I'm right around 98 to 99, just 100 a little less, and ketones around 0.5. So until I see that shift downward, more like where Kevin is.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm still not at a place where I can push down on I still can't find some exogenous fat that I can eat with a knife and fork and get comfortable. So it's okay. It's a good place to be. Nothing's really changing, but that's okay. It's not going up. Weight's not going up, and that's not going. Just a place where I think it's all right for now, and we'll reassess it after blood work here, and probably I think it's in late November. So then we'll see. Make sure that I haven't. I'm not pushing all those, those bad numbers, uric acid, and some of those that could be problematic if too much protein. So I'm still probably. I had one day of full satiety and with sardines, and it was I mixed, right. So it was 3 cans of tuna and 3 cans of sardines, but it's a big bolus of protein. So I really kind of last week spread it back out. I guess the final thing is because I don't have a problem with either way, I just open my window up to about 3.5 hours so that the protein went in a little less at a time. And
you feel it's still taking that much protein to make you full?
Oh yeah. Okay. I'm still in that 20-ounce range if I'm eating ribeye, if I'm eating I just don't eat chicken. I have zero. So I cannot eat satiety to my stomach explodes with chicken. So chicken's not on the menu anymore. And not actually a little bit of pork, but not much. So I eat mostly beef, and quite honestly, I'm kind of in the park with those who just don't find any satiety with ground beef. So for me, and so when I say I spread it out, I just do eggs. First thing I do, 3 or 4 eggs. I do that, and about 2.5 hours later, then I eat beef. As long as I eat those eggs, I'm down around 15, 16 ounces. So if I just eat a steak, it's going to be in that 18 to 22 ounces. If I eat eggs or eat sardines first, then it's down by probably a third.
Yep.
And so that's pretty good. But for me, I went, 2 weeks, I told you, and I was eating 500 calories a day, and I couldn't sustain that. I was just kind of crazy. So, and so I keep searching drboz to say, okay, if we can get everything we need from our personal onboard supply, which I still have, like many, of onboard fat, I'm searching those that I kind of, people that are making Dr. Siwas and drboz saying, why can't you go beyond 72? Why can't you just stay the course until it's all gone? And nobody really has a good answer. Nobody is willing to put a good answer out there. They all stop at that 72. And I think we know why.
Yeah.
They don't get anybody in trouble. And I respect that.
And I think that's, you got to learn to, she's teaching to the masses. So it's one of those, when you step over that 72 hour, you're stepping into a different chemistry. And it's just, it's people need to do that it's one thing to do that when you're fat adapted. It'd be a whole nother ball game for somebody to just push through and white knuckle through it and get themselves into trouble. That's where it's,
if you're white knuckling, there's no purpose if you're white knuckling.
Right.
You're really, to me anyway. So,
right. So that's why we just don't go there.
Yeah, I think you're right. I do, Tammy. That's why. So, no, other than that, I just keep on. And then I just each week kind of just journal, okay, what happened this week? How did I feel the days where I struggled? But I can tell you the one exercise I had I was at that wedding this weekend, and I chose to eat with the group at night. And that's fine because they majored in brisket and pulled pork. So life is good, right? Very interesting that when I push my eating window much beyond about 2:30, 3 o'clock, I really struggle in the evening to then chop it off. So I just don't eat in the evening. So learn quite a bit in the last 30 days in this little revolution. So other than that, I'm good.
Good. It's good to see you, hon. There is a lot to be listened to when you listen to Jim, the difference in his chemistry and us girls, he's struggling with that leptin and ghrelin, trying to hit satiety and stuff like that. So he's, you're having to work out through the struggles of figuring out what is going to make him satiated, but we got to wake up leptin and ghrelin and make sure everything's working to get him to push forward. So he's doing some experimenting. He's a numbers guy. So I can't wait to see what all the different proteins do for him. Staying consistent in that and keeping that protein going in and getting him satiated is going to be key here, because then we will know he's fat adapted, and it's just working that magic and finding that little niche for him to fall into and then ride it out. So good job, Jim. I can't wait to see all your numbers after all your experimenting you're doing. So good job. Jody, come on in, check in.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
Yep.
So
Good.
I've been, this is what, our 5th week with
Yes.
we started with the 21 days. So this is our 5th week doing the clean fast. My husband's been doing it with me this whole time. So
Nice. That's a win right there.
Yeah. So we're both doing it. So positive notes, I'm down 23 pounds. So that's great. I still have about 20 to go. So I'm still really tired. And that's what I'm surprised, because I see so many people talk about how energetic they are. And I can go at work, but that's 8 hours. Like it was a little longer today. But man, when I get home, I am just wiped out. And then if I get up and do anything, I'm just wiped out. And so I didn't know, I'm not sure when to take. I've got the MCT oil soft gels. I've got the K2 plus the 9.3, and then I got the beef liver. I just don't know when to take that.
I would put all of that in your eating window on your feeding days. Just kind of tap out on your fasting days, because you want the benefits of that autophagy. You want all of those benefits, and there's that gray line of, oh, does it break a fast? Does it not? I don't want to chance it. And if you're still struggling with that, I look at it as, if I can push through the fast, I can make it through a 72, but then on your feeding days, make sure you're getting those in your feeding window constly, consistently.
I mean, like what?
The MCT, literally, I can show you here kind of, I literally keep them sitting here and I just munch on them all day. I don't do a bunch at one time because, it's going to send you straight to the bathroom. So I just, every 15, 20 minutes, or when I look over and think about it, I'll put these in me all day. And I just keep it a kind of a steady going. They do help you with a little bit of energy because they're going to help your body make some ketones. And those of us girls that are still dealing with hormone issues, it seems to just help you keep one more step in the right direction, keep going and get that body used to making ketones, because that's where that energy is going to come in, is when those ketones go up and that glucose drops down. That's when that energy is going to start. And I will tell you, it took me my second time through on the 8 weeks of 72s. The first whole time through, I struggled. It was just, I never got that euphoric feeling. I never got that energy boost. The second time through, it was like the third week before it kicked in that it was like, oh, that's what you're talking about. And just the goal in that is to stay consistent. It's just that part of how insulin resistant is your body, how much stored glucose do you have that you got to clean up. All those kind of things are just going to be little steps that you've got to work through to get there, and staying consistent, doing these 8 weeks of 72s. If you get to the end of this one and you're not quite there yet, you haven't reached all your goals, you still have some weight to lose, then just reevaluate and you're going to start again. And you're going to keep going till you hit that deep cleaning of the liver, till you get all that stored glucose taken care of. And then your body will learn to be more metabolically flexible. That's our goal, is to be able to be flexible and be able to teach our body how to do that. But it just seems like unanimously across the board with us girls that are north of 50, that's a little bit stronger of a hold of trying to get those hormones working and staying working. It's not easy. I know I see Diane just jumped on, there's numerous women on this in our group that are struggling with, we just got to stay consistent. So use your tools where you can. Do that MCT on your feeding days in your eating window. Just get as many in you. As soon as you send you to the bathroom, that was one too many. But keep them going in you. If you have the pucker, put the pucker in your water. Make sure you water that down. And I usually go for the pucker over the flavored ones, just because I don't like the sweetness added to my palate. So I stick with the pucker. So help your body every chance you can until you feel that energy, until your body's kicking in on its own and that energy comes up. You'll get there. Just good job for the 5 weeks, and congratulations on hubby doing it with you. Those are all wins. Those are huge. So just stay consistent and reach out. If you need any help, you're not sure, let us know.
So also, like, I've noticed my blood pressure is up higher than it should be too. I think it was, do you remember what my blood pressure was? It was like 149. Yeah, it was about 149 over like 98 or something like that. So
how's your water and your sodium, all your minerals, everything like that?
I drink a lot of water all day. I drink probably 2 cups of black coffee in the morning. And then I do the salt crystals, the real salt, just all day long.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would make sure you're keeping everything good, all your minerals level, make sure you're staying hydrated, things like that. And keep an eye on that blood pressure, checking it, 3 times in a row in this, being calmed down, laying, sitting, different ways like that. And make sure you're getting a consistent read on that blood pressure, and keep an eye on that. That's not something you want to ignore by no means. That's something, if it stays that way for a season, to get you over, a hump or something, that's one thing, but you want to make sure it's not staying up there too high, or you want to check with your doctor. So, but stay hydrated, stay hydrated, keep those minerals. Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Linda, you want to come on in and check in?
Well, I'm new
Hi, and welcome.
Hi. I've been looking for a support group, and I've been struggling. So I decided to go keto in April of this year.
Nice.
And I started off gangbusters and couldn't even understand when I saw people were struggling. But I kind of got fed up with the food. And then my house is not clean because we have a teenager who lives here. And he just eats a lot of all those things that we're not supposed to eat. So anyway, every once in a while I tumble, and I have just picked myself up out of the ditch. So I ate a regular meal. When I say regular, I had a salad and I had swordfish yesterday at 4:00. And then I didn't eat anything until I got home from work today. And I had 2 cans of sardines because I was hungry, and I thought, I can't do myself any harm. My blood work numbers have been miserable. So, 89, 90, 95 for blood glucose, and then 0.1 or 0.2 for ketones. So
Now, have you been doing drboz keto since April?
Trying.
Okay.
So, when you're trying to learn, you're like looking around, like, is this, so you look around, you find all these people who are doing this dirty keto. And I'm like, yeah, no, it can't be right. So I came back to the fold and I found you. So I'm very happy for that. And so I guess from a weight point of view, so I'm down 30 pounds from when I started.
Congratulations. That's a win.
Thank you. But I love to listen to audiobooks. So I'm listening to Keto Continuum, and I just kind of go around and I'll listen again. And then I go around, and every time I listen to it, I'm like, oh, I learned something new last time. Yeah. So, I'm approaching what I've always thought of as my goal weight, but my blood work is still sucks. Right. So I'm not like, when I got into this, it was because I got into it because I knew I was off track from everything I wanted to do. My weight was out of control, and everything I tried to do just resulted in my weight going up. And so I found any way you can listen to it, thought, wow, that is cool, and jumped on board. So that's where I started. But now I'm getting down to where my weight, like if I was on a regular diet, I'd be like, okay, I've got, 7 pounds more to go till I get to my goal weight, but my blood work is nowhere near what I'd like it to be. So I'm not even sure where to go.
Okay. So first of all, you're in the exact right place. So you have to have a tribe. You get people around you, even if you don't have everybody in your house we become your family on this side of the screen here. So you got to stay connected. And what you're trying to do, what the mindset you got to do a little bit of a shift on is this program. Most of us, you will find here, this isn't about just weight. We are doing this to heal at the cellular level, and we are doing this to rebuild. So as cells die off, if they last 30, 60, 90 days, whatever the cell is in your body, as those die off, you want them to rebuild a healthy, vibrant cell with a healthy DNA, with, everything in there. You want it to be a healthy new cell. You want to have the mindset of, you're not in this just to drop some weight. You're in this to rebuild health. And that's what's going to take long-term. You didn't get insulin resistant, you didn't get unhealthy, you didn't get overweight, you didn't get unhealthy cells in 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 9 weeks, whatever. This took a lifetime. So think of it as, this isn't a program that at the end of 6 weeks, it's over. This isn't over in 12 weeks. This is just getting your chemistry established to live a lifetime and a lifestyle moving forward. And that's where I really want you to have your mindset and change that little thinking in it of, you're in this for the lifetime. This isn't a 12-week program. Even my coaching programs that are 6 weeks or 12 weeks, that is just to help you with your chemistry. That's just to lay the foundation for you to take off and run on your own for the rest of your life. We never want to go backwards to where we were,
Right. That's I
that's hard to think
more. Right. And that's why I looked at, I still hop on the scale because it's a number, right? So it's a number. As is my sticking my fingers repeatedly.
So that is those numbers are so much more important than the number on your scale. So those numbers that your blood is giving you, that is going to tell you that's the true number marker of your health, not your weight. You know, the weight will fall off as you get healthier. As your cells are healthy, the weight isn't an issue. It's as your cells, I mean, you can look back on our videos when I'm getting healthier. I don't know how much of my story you know, but I'm cancer survivor, heart attack survivor. And when I'm struggling and I've had a crash and burn, I go whatever, like even now, you know, just I've not changed my routine. I've not changed my eating window, but just having to have Advil in me and just something, my numbers are off. I woke up with a glucose of 104 this morning and I've been fasting since yesterday afternoon. I mean, it's just nothing kicks in, you know, I'm hurting, I'm in pain, I'm taking an Advil. My numbers are awful, but you've got to learn to navigate through those struggles and stay consistent because that number is what matters. And you can watch back on my old videos when my numbers are getting better and I'm soaring through, I'll drop 20, 30 pounds. And as soon as I start not feeling good, you look at my videos. I have chipmunk cheeks. Like it's the first place it comes back. You know, it's like, I just look at it. It's like, what the heck? But it does. And it's like, you can just see the inflammation. I have a big scar. I always show everybody right here on my forehead goes down and it's tear duct to tear duct. And as soon as my face starts getting inflamed, it looks like I have that constant scowl, you know, right there, because it's just the inflammation in my face comes back, you know, my belly, my butt, everything. But you'll see the difference of when I'm on track and when my body's struggling. It's not as much about the weight. I want my cells healthy. I kind of look at it, you know, one of those, do I care how much my coffin weighs? I want to be healthy. It doesn't matter how much, how much.
Yes,
I weigh.
Absolutely. And that's why I'm here.
That's there.
Yes. So, thank you. Yes.
Welcome
you just
aboard.
Said it all. Thank you.
Welcome to our tribe and welcome to our family. We're in it for the long haul. Don't worry about those weight numbers. As those DVRs get better, you're going to get that weight's going to fall right into place and you're going to be fine, but it's staying consistent. The other thing we're going to throw out there is even if you do hit your goal weight, that doesn't mean you jump ship. Don't think you're going to go backwards. You're going to
I don't even know, like, I don't even know what my ideal weight would be because I haven't been, and I haven't been, and I don't know. I haven't been anything
Google your
BMI.
Right now, go over to a screen and Google your BMI. Put your height in and say, what should my BMI be for my height? And figure out where you should be. And
I'm doing it right now.
Here's the other thing. When your body is healthy, it's going to level out at the weight you need to be.
Yes.
So don't beat yourself up over that number. Your number that you're worrying about more is your DVR.
Yes, ma'am.
We want to get you going on. So good job. Congratulations and stay the course and stick around.
Thank
Are you over it? Are you in our group, the Journey to Keto group?
I don't know.
Check on Facebook, write it down. It's Journey to Keto with Tammy Lawbacher.
I think that's how I found you. Yeah. So I think I must be.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. Everybody over there. We have a great group. We have a bunch of moderators and leaders over there that they're all really good and will help you right along too. If I'm not around, I have some things coming up. Some rough days ahead, but we're going to do it.
All
Vicky,
right.
come on in and say hi. Come on in, introduce yourself and tell us a little bit. Hang on. I got you muted, honey. There you go. Nope. Now we got your camera backwards. Hang on. Let me see if I can unmute you. Does that help?
There we go.
There you are. Hey.
Did that work?
Yes. Now we can hear you.
Hi, I tried to get in 2 weeks, but anyway, I watched 2 weeks ago, I guess it's been. And thank you all for making me write my numbers down every morning.
Right.
And yeah, you got to keep track of me. And oh, now I can see you. Yeah, this past week I had a little rough spill. I was out running with my grandkids. I have 13. And so I was in Chicago and we were out running and I thought, well, I'll just sprint some. So I did. And I really messed my poor leg up. So I come back we live in Myrtle Beach. And then I end up going to Charleston to see 2 more grandkids. And one of them had like a cold. And I have sniffles. I had pain, like from the top of my head to the bottom of my foot.
Oh.
And I'm like, this is not good.
Right.
And so anyway, I talked with Olivia a little bit online, and she just told me, look, you're doing the right thing. Just keep doing it. Keep doing it. Keep doing it. And so, but it's true. I just look at my drboz ratio and I don't worry about anything else.
Yep.
So
I think it matters.
Yeah. And so this week I've been trying to do some good, healthy recipes because, I like mayonnaise. You go to the store, you look at the mayonnaise and it's really crap. And, like little chips. I want like a little chip. So I was doing I've been doing stuff with sourdough, and I found that I can do a sourdough chip. I don't add flour back in. I just bake it, the starter, and, add some bagel spice and all that stuff. And it doesn't bother my blood sugar. So I'm like, this is so cool. So the other thing was
First of all, you are blessed because I'm a sourdough starter too. And I even look at that stuff and it's bad. So
have you done just the starter without putting any more flour in it?
Yeah. Flour
in it.
Flour and
no,
flour.
I don't add. I always do in the icorn.
Oh, okay.
Well, anyway, long story about icorn, but so anyway, I can do those little chips, which are just amazing for me. So, and Dr. Boz was talking about, I was listening to a bunch of her stuff on organ meats and how important they are. And so I went to the store and I'm looking at the organ meats and I'm like, this has junk in it. I'm not eating this crap. So I came home with liver. And so I made a liver pate.
Nice.
I made probably $50 worth of liver pate for $1.98. And it was interesting. So I'm trying to change things. And honestly, I made the best chicken soup I've ever had in my whole life because I used the drippings from the liver. Mm-hmm. Anyway, it's amazing. So, I'm just looking to get healthy.
What are your DBRs running when you're doing all of that? Are your DBRs staying low?
Yeah. Well, because I'm only eating I'll do a once a day, or I'll throw a fast in there. A 24.
What are your DBRs looking like?
So mine they're like, I guess between 60 and they're under 100.
Nice.
Except when I had all that pain and I was having trouble and they went up. But that's what happens when you have pain. The other thing was I noticed that a lot of stuff is so stress related that we try to fix it with a fast or fix it with a food. And really we need to fix it with relaxing and
breathing and
finding out where that stress is coming from. And my husband did the absolute neatest thing. We have a blow ups hot tub. Mm-hmm. And so we went down to Costco and just bought us a whole bunch of Epsom salts and filled that thing up, and we just go out there and float.
That's awesome. Good job.
So that has been like amazing.
Good for you.
Absolutely amazing. But that helps with the magnesium and everything too.
It does. Those floats really do help a lot. A couple things I'll throw out there, Vicki. Run over to our YouTube page and you will find I have a recipe for the mayonnaise that I use, the bacon grease. I don't know if you've seen that. Do bacon grease mayonnaise, butter mayonnaise.
Butter mayonnaise.
Yep.
The butter mayonnaise is awesome.
So good. And another thing, if you do have a moment where if you ever hit the point where you can't use the starter doesn't work for me anymore. I know down the road. I used to use it early on too because I loved my starter dough. But I will do Parmesan chips. And I just put a little
Yeah.
thing of Parmesan on a baking sheet and put it in the air fryer or whatever. And those really, when I want that little bit of crunch and that little saltiness, it'll be the Parmesan chips that'll get me
And
every time.
actually, I was getting ready to try some egg white. You know, like they do the egg white pizza and the egg. I'm not crazy about the egg white bread, but I thought if I did it real thin and then just toasted it real slow, you know, like almost dry roast it kind of thing. I thought that might be something that could maybe work.
And keep working, you know, keep an eye on your numbers as you go through
Oh,
those
yeah.
things. I will say a lot of us that start out that way, that it starts out working and then you'll hit a moment of, oh my gosh, I'm eating the exact same thing. And where it'll start working. And another thing I'll throw in, this is a company that I've started with recently, and drboz has her liver pills that we love, but this company is going in and doing the bone and the marrow and the other organs, and it gives you everything in a capsule. They're really clean. It's a small family-oriented business. So it's another one that I'm really excited about. So my link will be over on the page.
Okay.
And I'm still out on it. So I'm on my bottle. This one I've been taking them, but I can only take them on my feeding days. So
Right.
I'm trying to get enough in me to figure out how we can do it. But they have the liver too. They have the bone, the marrow, a couple different products that are coming out, and they're just like a handful of products. So I'm really excited to see how we all do on it. But anybody that can't get the organ meats or don't have access to them or don't like them, this is going to be your answer, I think.
Yeah. The good thing about making the pate was that I can make it taste what I wanted,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Just be careful what you're adding. Yeah.
Oh yeah. No. Yeah. Yeah. But so anyway, I'm trying to do some interesting things. I was very bad with fibromyalgia and myofascial pain, and I think my whole life I was constipated. I was given Karo syrup and carnation evaporated milk when I was born. So I was just set up. So I've been insulin resistant like my whole life. So I'm working hard to be the best I can be and go run with those grandkids.
Yeah, absolutely. And you
So,
go, girl. And I'm so proud of you.
I got to keep my why out there.
Yep. Keep that why in the forefront of your brain. And it is truly when your heart is attached to it like that. And you can see yourself, first of all, kudos to you for being able to go run with your grandkids. I mean, I am telling you, man, I walked with a walker when I started this program. So there was no running with anybody.
Oh my God.
So good for you, but go enjoy them babies. And if that's what it takes to keep you going and keep you motivated, that's a beautiful why. Just keep going.
That's a great why. And I hope you get through your surgery okay. I know that's really rough on you. And
it's at this point, it's annoying. I can't make it a darn year without a surgery or something going wrong. It's like, come on. I blew this one out last year doing CPR to a lady that was choking to death. And it took 4 surgeries to get it right. So it was just
oh my God.
I can't win at this point. I can't make this crap up. You know, it's like, come on. So give me a break. So thank you. I need all the prayers I can get at this point. My surgery's going to be the 8th. I'll appreciate all of them. So I'm hoping this is going to be a one and done and get it over with.
And thank you, Olivia. I love you.
Yes. Olivia I'm telling you, any of you women that are struggling to worry about if you can get there, or if your body's ever going to kick in, look at Olivia, because I'm telling you, that girl has busted her butt for years to find that rhythm and to find that little niche that she fit right in. And it's like, once she found it, I mean, I'm just so proud of her, because that's exactly the goal we are all striving for, is to find that spot that sweet spot where our numbers are working and our bodies are kicking in, and she's doing the work, and we just love her. So I'm just so excited. We just love her. Okay. You're welcome. And welcome to the tribe. Go over in that group and check in and share the pictures of those grandbabies over there.
Oh, we sure will.
Koji, how do I say that? I like that.
Hi, my name's Pat. My laptop or my tablet's named Koji. That's my dog. I don't know why, but
for short,
comes up with my it just plucked that name out when I registered for the 21-day challenge. I was in a a different group, after the end of the program, but I signed up to take a Bosu ball class, and it's going to be on Wednesdays when that group meets. So I'm hoping I can, participate here.
Yes.
Well, one of the joys of being retired is that you sign up for classes and take a lot of, you can do that kind of stuff that you can't do when you're working all the time.
Right.
Anyway, so I've been doing, I'm a little bit disappointed. I really haven't. I know you're not supposed to think about your weight, but who doesn't think about their weight? Come on. So I
Right.
haven't lost any more weight. My biggest struggle is, of course, I've been insulin resistant for 40 years. So over the past few years, my A1Cs have been coming down, but I'm still in the pre-diabetes range. And it's a fight to even stay there, to tell you the truth. And my A1C was 5.9 the last time. And of course, my doctor's thrilled with that. But, I know that the target is, of course, to be, at 5 or something. So I just, the hardest thing for me is just staying the course. My blood sugar is never like maybe 100, maybe 99. It is never a lot higher than that or much lower than that. What works for me is moving that eating window up earlier in the day, but it's so disgusting to me. I don't like to eat then. I feel like I could throw up when I eat then.
Oh,
It's just a very difficult thing for me to do that. I no longer get up real early because I'm retired now. I'm done getting
You
up
don't
at
have
5
to.
o'clock. I'm not getting up at 5 o'clock anymore. I'm not doing that. So, it's just I think it's like a bargain you make with yourself. Like, well, how much does this really mean to you? If you know that moving the eating window up earlier in the day will help you, and that's really pretty much the only thing that will help. I don't have a lot of trouble following the 20 grams of carbs. I had bariatric surgery 15 years ago. I can't eat very much, you know what I mean? I can't eat much. And many people I heard during the course of the program say, oh, I regained my weight. I don't know how that would happen because I really can't eat very much, My weight, I just never got to my goal weight. I mean, you lose so much weight and then it just stopped. And now through the drboz program, I can see that the fact that they tell you to eat 5 times a day because you can't hold very much, that's just a prescription to worsen your insulin resistance.
absolutely. Absolutely. So even with, and you'll check over in our group, there's other people over here that's had the surgery. And it's one of those trying to get the mindset that, every bite that goes in has got to be that high density nutrition.
Right.
Got to get that nutrition in because that insulin resistance still needs to come down. You still need to do the work. Even if you were at your goal weight, with an A1C of 5.9, you still need to do the work to be at that healthy cellular level, that you got to keep doing that work and you just keep pushing forward one little step at a time. And you're going to get there. You just got it. This is where you stay consistent. And you're exactly right. You just
it's hard because you don't see any real improvement. I mean,
it is hard.
Even when my ketones are high, my ketones are lately, they've been like 1 or 1.5, but during the course of the program, they were like 3. So I know that having that early,
you can do it.
Yes.
So that's a win.
Well, I can make ketones, but my body has been very slow to adapt to using them. I spent 2 weeks of the 21-day challenge laying on my couch. I mean, really, no energy, none. And Dr. Boz she told me, you just have to stay the course and the energy level.
And if you jump ship now, you're going to start over. So I'm telling you, don't give up, don't give in, don't jump ship.
No, I can't. Well, I at least have enough energy now to go to classes and, things that I enjoy a little bit. Because if I weren't able to do that, I don't know if I could make it, to be honest with you.
And that's where you got to stay slow and steady. I'll even tell you, Miss Diane, that's getting ready to come and check in. I'll tell you, she's another one. She struggles. She's done it consistently for years. I'll tell you the same thing. I still have 40 pounds to lose. I've been consistent for 4 years and still have weight to lose, but I'm healing at the cellular level. So every time I make a few steps forward, something throws me back and I go backwards. And, I don't jump ship as far as the food and the eating goes. That part's easy for us. But the eating window, being closing it during earlier in the day, all those things, cleaning all that up and staying consistent in that is where that long-term health is. And moving that eating window, especially as girls with the hormones, the closer to daylight we can move that. My numbers, and you will probably notice this, if I move my eating window and I stop by 2 or 3 in the afternoon, then I will have a good morning glucose. If I eat dinner with my hubby when he comes home at 5 or 6, I will have a higher glucose in the morning. It is. So how we navigate that is we pick the couple nights a week that I want to eat with my husband. That if we're going to go out on a date night, then I will eat later that night. If it's a day that it just doesn't matter and we're just having something silly, then that's when I close it during the day, and I'll sit and have some bone broth with him at night, or a cup of coffee, or just sit and talk to him while he eats. And that's okay. It's really taking that mindset off. It's not about the food. It's getting and spending the time with my hubby at the table. So I can spend the time with him, not eating. I don't need to eat. I'm already full because I ate 2 hours ago, and it's really a shift in your mindset of, I don't have to eat in the evening with him to spend time with him. So he can't eat at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. He's in the middle of a crew, he's working. So it's one of those, we can do that. Those are little mind shifts that we have to quit letting ourselves off the hook for. And
what do you think that it's one of the things I struggle with is like eating if I'm not hungry.
Yeah, you don't want to be eating if you're not hungry, but you want to get that nutrition in you before, 5, 6, 7 o'clock at night. So if you have to kind of force that a little bit, I would rather see you push it in a little bit earlier. You may not be starving, which is going to make you not eat as much. So it's going to help with the size of the bolus of food. But I would rather see you do that than eating closer to nighttime when you're truly starving then or hungry. So you're better off to back it up. The earlier in the day you stop eating is going to be the better for your cellular health moving forward.
And what about so if your ketones, like during the program and even sometimes since, like if my ketones are high, but my sugar's still 100, what's happening to those ketones? Am I just peeing them out?
Well, some you'll pee them out and some you'll use them, but your body is going to get regulated. They won't stay really high for a long time. As that glucose comes down, your ketones are going to go up, but we got to work on getting the glucose down to be able to, then we'll play with the ketones and everything, but get that glucose work down. And I will say too, most of us girls on here that I coach, just know most of us stop at 10 carbs a day. Most of us are nowhere near 20 carbs a day. If I even get close to 20 carbs a day, I would be idling and not having any progress. So, but that is where that simplicity, where we say, eat those few things that work for you over and over, and it just stays easier. That's where you'll find that little open window just gets narrower and narrower. That's where I say, be careful with recipes. Be careful when you're putting a lot of different mixtures in one meal, because it's hard to find what's your culprit then, what is causing a problem if you're not moving forward fast enough. So keep it stupid simple. I mean, when we have burger, I might put a piece of cheese on it, I might put a bacon on it, have a little bit of mayonnaise on it or something like that. If it's a bacon cheeseburger, it's simply a bacon cheeseburger. It's not a big recipe of anything. If we have a ribeye, it's a ribeye on the grill, throw it on my plate. It's that's as simple as the recipe, and they're complicated as the recipes usually get. Like when kids are coming over, we'll do taco salad, but that literally just means a little bit of lettuce, maybe a sprinkle of some diced tomatoes, some cheese and sour cream, and that's taco salad, kind of thing. But you keep it stupid simple, just keep it that way. And you will find your numbers will get easier and easier and better the more simple you keep the meals, and just go nice and slow and stay.
Yes, I'm doing, so far, well, I've been doing like 42-hour fast, once a week. And then I'm going to make those longer. So far I've done 3, and then I'm going to go longer, because when we did the 72-hour fast during the course, I didn't feel very well. And so I thought I'd just move slowly ahead.
Yes, move slowly, because those clean 72s, that is truly a advanced protocol.
Mm-hmm.
The sardine challenge is a perfect protocol to just, what that does is it just trains you and gives you the strength and the mindset of knowing you can do this and you are not going to die if you don't have your favorite foods for 3 days. Those sardines kill a multitude of sins because it lets you know, first of all, I don't need a 22-ounce ribeye to be full. A can of sardines fills me up just fine, kind of thing. So that's one mindset. It's having the sardines or the mackerel, whatever, that's not giving you the dopamine response in your brain. So it's breaking the addiction in the brain of the dopamine that you need for 3 days, that you're looking for those 3 days. So that's another win of it. What it's doing to your chemistry is a whole nother level of a win in it. But those things they're the simple things that you need to realize. Your chemistry is not completely ready for most of us that have done this long term. You got to go nice and slow and steady to get your chemistry ready to go into those 72 hours fasting, clean fast. There's a difference. And I do think it takes a long time. It's not easy. And nobody wants to fast and feel like crap for 3 days. But once you're fat adapted and once your hormones are working, then those 72 hours, then your body chemistry will carry you. And it's not.
My blood sugar did not go down during the 72-hour water fast either.
And
at all.
And that's one of those, you need to stay consistent. We got to build your fat-based hormones, make sure they're all working properly. Your leptin, your ghrelin, all of that has to be working, then carry you through a 72-hour clean. But you got a lot of work to do to clean all that up to get there.
Yes. I'm not having, like I said, like a lot of people have had surgery. I really don't get hungry very often.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really. So that's a plus, I really feel okay. I don't want to feel like I did during that course. I just, I thought I would do the 36-hour fast. Well, it ends up being 42-hour fast, but then should I just advance that, or do you think I should just eat the sardines? See, I like sardines. That's not it.
That's not
like
one thing I would have you do is I would make sure you're hitting those fat macros and make sure that fat isn't still locked behind the cell. So you have to ingest the fat at first till your body becomes that fat adapted. So I would make sure you're hitting that. If you're saying you're not usually ever hungry, that kind of tells me we might want to wake up ghrelin a little bit. And you should feel hungry. If you're eating 1 meal a day or a pretty tight eating window, you should be getting hungry about then, when it's time for you to start eating, you should be getting hungry. And if you're not, then if you're at the beginning stages, it kind of tells me that ghrelin may not be working. If you're in the advanced stages and it says you're fat adapted, that your body's already adjusted, then that's a whole different chemistry. Do you see what I'm saying between the two programs? So I would worry about if you're at the beginner level or what level you're truly at. If you're not feeling well, back up and check your chemistry. Back up and make sure you've hit every marker for those hormones before you push forward, and just stay consistent. You'll get there.
All righty. Thank you.
You're welcome. Welcome. Come on in, Miss Diane. Come and check in. Hello, Mama. Good to see you. Oh, we got you muted.
Can you hear me?
There you are. Hey.
Okay. I don't even know. I don't know. That's all I know is I don't know. I think Pat might have been in the same 21-day class I was in.
Yes, I was.
Maybe. I thought so. And I can relate to a lot of the things that you're saying. I don't know. I don't know if I'm a beginner or antique or a fat adapted or just fat I don't know. At this point, I just give up. I don't know. The only thing that I can say is if there was a plan B, I would go to plan B, but I don't know a plan B. So I'm just sticking with it.
Diane, I always tell you the same thing. Diane is one of those people that stays consistent. She has done the tracking. She has done the close the eating window. She has done the sardines for days and days on end. She has done so many of the things. And the only thing my heart just keeps saying is we got to keep going. The option is jump and ship. And that's not an option.
That's not an option.
It's not an option. So me and her are in the same boat. Our bodies do not respond. It's frustrating when some of us that have been doing this for years, and we do hit that point of we get one setback after another, after another, after another. And there isn't a next step. We do the steps. So staying consistent, doing those 72s is the tool that seems to help me over that hump. But then I run into things where I just don't feel good. That's hard when you got to function and you got to be able to think straight. And you got to be able to do it. So Diane, my heart's always with you trying to figure it out. And I think it's where we're in this for the long haul. We're not in it. This isn't about a weight loss journey. This is about getting healthy at the cellular level. And I just think we need to keep going.
And I think back, I was raised in a home where there was addiction, and we looked at addiction or addiction recovery with lots of different markers. Could that alcoholic stay clean, not take a drink? That was one thing. But then, could he function at work? There was lots of other markers. And I will say, with food addictions, we kind of look at the scales.
Yep. And don't you think with a food addiction, it's socially acceptable?
Exactly.
So, the other
it's more than socially accepted. Right. It's exactly. You feel odd if you don't. You're made to feel like there's something weird about you if you can't eat a normal meal and put it down,
Yep. There is.
I was reminded of that at church last night at trick or treat. Why can you not eat any candy?
Yep.
But nobody would think about offering a beer to an alcoholic.
Right. But they'll hand you a Snickers bar any day of the week and think nothing of it.
But I can tell you that, and Pat probably will remember this too, when we did the sardine challenge, my numbers were better than when I did a water fast. And on top of that, even with the sardine fast, if I ate there was one night that I ate after we had our little Zoom call, I ate a can of sardines and my stinking numbers were bad the next morning. So, the time is the eating late it really does trigger my numbers.
I bet you just about everybody on here, anybody with insulin resistance, eating at nighttime is just detrimental to that. It just truly is. Yep. I think
but you would think sardines wouldn't make that much difference.
But it doesn't matter what's going in. No. Calories need to cut off. If we could all kind of get that mindset of from 4 or 5 o'clock on, go ahead then. 4 or 5 o'clock on, there needs to be nothing go in, black coffee, black tea. And I even quit the coffee at night. It's like, I need some tea to sip. I got just a cup of tea to sip on food night. And that's got to be it. Because if not, when I wake up tomorrow morning, my numbers will be awful. Mm-hmm. And it's that, it's something so stupid, simple. And I do know that one. So it's one of those, when one thing that works, do it.
Do it.
Let's all, don't argue about, don't play with it. Let's not try to prove us wrong. It's right. Quit eating after 5 o'clock, zip it up. We know that. It's just,
I can't even do it till 5 o'clock. If I don't cut it off by about 2, the next morning, my numbers are awful.
Then there's an answer for you. So your eating window needs to close by 2.
Yeah.
And those kind of things like that, when we learn those numbers, that's the beauty of knowing your numbers is know what time you have to cut it off to wake up with a good DBR. And I think that is what makes this program so different than so many other programs.
One thing, I was a little disappointed with the 21-day course, but one thing I did learn from that, 2 things. Even the eating the sardines late showed the number was bad. And then the other thing was I was blood testing because dang, I wanted to see some good numbers. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to just find me a time that I can get a good number. But one thing I did learn from that is don't do that. Just test in the morning one time. And then you can see what was happening with me is my morning number would be low. And then about 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the afternoon, I had some really good numbers. So it looked like zoop, 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 zoop. So really and truly, I did learn in that class just to test early in the morning and no other time, or test and hide the number. So you can, it doesn't. And now I have been guilty of that. I'm just going to go ahead and confess. But on my Mojo, it just has those morning numbers. And that does give you a
but that's your true. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, a time to use them in the afternoon. If you're doing something that you're not sure about, or something that,
Right.
or you're feeling funny. There's another one, like when I'm fasting and my numbers start to go up, I will get that funny feeling when I get much past 3.2 ketones or something like that. I start to get that jittery, shaky. My lips get a little tingly. I always want to know what that feeling is. What is it? And I want to know. And as soon as I test my numbers, and it may be in the afternoon, it's not all day, but having that, just knowing, I know now when my ketones start getting high, I feel different. I feel that jitter a little bit, and it's okay. It's not a problem. There's not something wrong. It's just, I want to understand what that feeling is. So then it is worth testing in the afternoon. You know, it's one of those things, but it's not what I'm going to read on my chart and say, okay, I'm getting better because my ketones are high. No, that there's too much noise in that afternoon number. The one that matters is that first morning glucose or first morning ketone. So somebody had a hand up. Who had a hand up? There we go. Linda.
It was me. Yeah.
Jump in.
Okay. I was going to say, so, I mean, I've been doing the sticking the fingers. I hate sticking my fingers, just saying that. But I do it, and I've got the numbers, and then every once in a while I read about other people checking again in the afternoon. And so how important is that? And should it be like, how early should it be? Should it be
as soon as your eyes open, as soon as you wake up, as soon as your eyes open up? Because I mean, mine sits on the bathroom counter. So while I'm peeing in my first morning pee, you get up, you stumble to the bathroom, and you pour yourself a cup of ambition. But before you pour that cup, you stop and pee. You do it right then, because that's everything else starts the noise. So it's the longer you wait, the more noise is in that reading, between the cortisol rising. You know, you're going to get a phone call. The kids are going to drive you nuts. The husband's going to be insane, whatever, all the noise starts. And then you have to juggle things. So you want it that first morning wake up, and it's probably going to be a crappy number, you know.
Well, can't be much crappier than what I got now. So,
right.
I
but
mean,
that is the true reading.
And it'll only get better, right? I mean, that's what I was going to say to Pat, my when I got my numbers back from the doctor, my A1C was 6. And so, but I had already started on keto by then because of other things. But boy, when I saw that number, that was a real wake-up call. And I got my BMI back, and it was 23.7. So I'm in the normal range. Hello.
But how many of us know a friend though that is skinny, that's having a weight issue, but it doesn't mean they're healthy. I had a best friend growing up that would eat a bag of Doritos and a bag of Oreo cookies, and that was her lunch for the day.
Right.
She's not, just because she's skinny doesn't mean she's healthy.
Well, for me, and just to say back to what Diane was saying, when you're not like overtly overweight and you tell people you're watching what you're eating, they think you're a complete lunatic.
Yep.
And so I've got people I work with, and they're really nice people, but they're like, you know, there's nothing wrong with you. And I go, listen, it's the numbers. I go, I don't need to tell you all the numbers because they won't mean anything to you, but they mean something to me. And the A1C of 6, surely that means something to some of you. They're like, oh, okay. All right. Yeah. All right. So they've been supportive, but they still don't get it.
Hey, thanks. One person at a time, lead by example, and keep going, because that's what's going to change one person at a time. And that's what's going to bring it and build your tribe. And it doesn't matter what the scale says. Yes. Is that a factor down the road that you're going to worry about? Yes. But right now it's getting healthy. Getting that A1C down is so much more important than getting your weight down. So, I mean, it truly.
Linda, one thing you said you didn't like to test. Is it because it hurts? Let me tell you a couple of things that I learned. And to me, it's easier on your bird finger, but warm your hands. Run them into some hot water, some warm water, and get your hands good and warm. Hold them down, even shake them. And then when you stick, don't stick real deep. Just stick deep enough that you can kind of pull your finger and make the blood come. You may be going too deep. And then instead of doing it on like this part of your finger, go on the side of your finger.
And not your pointer. You want to go like to your ring finger or your middle finger on the side.
Yeah. And that will make sure you change your needle so it's sharp. and then don't go too deep. Just go deep enough to get some blood, and then take your finger and kind of rub it till you make it bleed some more.
You are. Good job.
And-
Good ideas, Diane.
and-
Yes. Yes.
Just as a thought for those that are struggling with other people, and that's that whole idea of social capital that Dr. Boz talks about with my dad, who doesn't understand why I can't just eat 2 or 3 pieces of roast beef, a scoop of mashed potatoes, and a little bit of green beans and call it good, and why I need to have 120 bites to even shut my appetite down. So when we were out at the air races, I had 5 or 6 cookies that day, and I showed him the next morning, 22 hours later, my blood sugar was still 170 and stayed there through a 3-day fast.
Yep.
Then he was on board because he goes, holy crud, what happens then? I said, when I get it down, it stays down, but not if I eat a single carb, any carb, mashed potatoes, anything. And I can't get it down for days of fasting. So whoever said that or somebody, but when you share with them, maybe an A1C doesn't mean much. You tell them, hey, and I've even probably fudged it a little bit just to get people to back off. And then they go, and now in the square dance community where I'm at, because they're just garbage guts, they just know we go out to eat and I get a pile of meat or I don't eat. And they'll just say, well, Jim, are you eating today? No, I'll eat on Friday. And they just know that I'm weird, and that's okay.
Yeah.
And so it becomes more friendly and they're kinder.
Yeah. And again, you got to get the people that are built around you, that are your tribe. And again, if they're not encouraging you, you're doing this for your health. If they're truly your friends and family, they should be encouraging you. And if they're not, I question my friends and my family. It may not be right for them, but it's right for me, and that's okay. Come on in, Pat.
I just wanted to know if you get up later, is your blood sugar higher, even if you check it right away?
Probably.
You know what I wondered that. Okay.
Yeah, because you're going to get past that dawn effect and all that stuff starts kicking in. You get much past, my guess would be 6 or 7 a.m. If you get past that 8, 9, 10 o'clock, it depends on how much you're sleeping in, but that would be I would bet that's going to wave with that cortisol and everything waking you up and things like that. So I'd be curious. So,
okay. Thanks.
Come on in, Susan. Come on in, say hi. Check in.
Am I muted? No.
Nope, there you are.
I don't seem to have a dawn effect. I wore a CGM last week for, the 10 days, and it just doesn't go up. I don't know if there's anything to do about that, but.
Which CGM do you have?
The Dexcom.
G6 or 7?
G7.
Okay. That's supposed to be the newest one and the most efficient one right now. I know the G6, they were having some things. We were told by Mr. Mojo when we were down there that those meters were not meant to read us, those of us that have our glucose consistently under 100. So those are made to read in the higher numbers. So he kind of said that was because my thing would stay pretty flatlined all the time. And he's like, it's because we don't fluctuate a whole lot. So I don't know if it's just the meter doesn't read at those real low levels, or if it's just, again, I would take it as a win as long as it's not jumping up, kind of thing. So that's good on your chemistry. But, if you're that far under 100, are you under 100 pretty consistently?
Oh.
No,
I'm usually right around 100.
Okay. He was saying, I'm thinking 120, 130, that they're more accurate above that, but they're made to be reading, a diabetic. It's the same thing with it going low, when they would go low and the alarm would go off. And I was standing there talking to him, my alarm kept going off and I was fasting. He's like, what in the world is that? And I'm like, my alarm keeps going off because it kept saying I was critically low. And I'm like, I'm fine, kind of thing. And he's like, they're not meant to read that low. So they're meant for a higher glucose. So it might be, I don't know, the G7, I think Dr. Boz said it's more accurate than the 6 was. So I'd be curious to see, but hopefully it's just your body staying leveled out and not having no big spikes in it. So I'd be curious.
I had a spike one day. I forget what the reason was, but that was like the highest it had ever been of the times that I've used this CGM.
Sure.
And I think I probably ate something I shouldn't have.
Yep. But that's the win of having the CGM, because it's so cool to see, okay, now just like Jim's saying, when somebody can look at your numbers and see the problem, that is the win. That is why we're doing this, is when you can look at it and see that consistent, you see that jump, it's like, oh crap, or when it's not even something that should make you jump. And like my cream in my coffee, it fits perfect in my macros. It fits perfectly in my numbers, the 0 carb heavy cream that I get from the farm. I mean, that should be perfect, but it does not fit in my body. My numbers will stay high every time I drink it. And I know that. And I still try to convince myself that it doesn't. So it's just, you will find those things. But when you have the CGM on, it points that out, because, I could be easy 0 carbs a day. I mean, that's not an issue for us. That's pretty easy. But when my glucose still jumps and I wake up with 103 glucose in the morning, and the only thing extra that I did besides a piece of meat is some cream in my coffee, it's not hard to figure it out, to see what the problem is. Yes, it fits in my numbers, but my body still does not like it. And that's not on my healing journey then. It's like, if I know, if the cream's going to jack me up, then it's my choice. I can make the choice and still have it, but I know it's going to mess me up. So you got to choose those battles, and you got to make those choices. What's it mean to you right now? Some days I just need my hug and I want my cream in my coffee. Other days I want my numbers and I want my body to be healing. So you got to make those choices wisely. You got to take it when you need it and let it go when it doesn't matter. You got to stay consistent, and it's making the hard choices. I always say, choose your hard, choosing your hard. Hard is saying no to the things, even though they fits in my numbers, but it doesn't fit in my body. But hard was sitting on a tarmac, having a heart attack with my husband a million states away and sitting there by myself. That was hard. Giving up cream in my coffee is just me whining. It's me being a brat and I want what I want. And it's the only thing left I enjoy. It's the only dopamine response I'm still getting. So is that cream in my coffee. So it's choose your battles. Choose your battles. You really can. Any questions? Anybody we didn't get covered tonight? Okay. What's everybody saying? We got chat. Anybody seeing anything over on YouTube? Go ahead.
So I just lost $70 on my 3rd day of the CGM. It came off in the shower. I cannot get them to stay on for my life.
Okay. First of all, call them. Call them. Their help center is remarkable. Call them and tell them that you've had trouble with it. They will also send you free of charge the stickers that will go over it, that will hold them water, keep them dry. And they work wonderfully.
You're talking about the little donut thing you put over it. I do that. They send one with it when you get it.
Well, there's a bigger one that goes over the whole thing that keeps it dry, and they will send those out as well. But call them and tell them that you've lost that it fell out, and they will send you a new one. They're wonderful. They really are. So if anybody's had trouble like that, just call them and let them know if you've had a struggle with it or what anything. I put one on and went out the one time and went to open my kitchen cabinet door, and it raked it right off. It wasn't on 2 hours. And I called them and said, oh my gosh, is there anywhere I can put this back in or what? And she's like, no, I'll just send you a new one. They were wonderful. So yep, call them and don't forget to ask them for the stickers, the larger ones that cover the whole thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Before you put it on, be sure and clean your arm really, really good with alcohol and let it dry. Let the alcohol dry. I've put them on where my alcohol was still wet.
Yeah, I got weird skin. I mean, I have to use the end of my driving finger, right? And I am on 5. And no matter how much, everything you said is right, except I just got these real tough skin. So yeah, no, I appreciate it. I really do.
Yeah.
And we'll try that, Tammy.
No doubt. Yes. Give them a call. It is worth it. Because like I said, those things are not cheap, but what you learn from them is so good. You need to take advantage of every one of them that you get and take advantage of what you learn from it. Look at your numbers, watch those graphs, see what affects you, see what stress affects you. I mean, I've had people coaching that, you can see in that, patient portal for the Keto Mojo. They come up on my patient portal when they're my coaching clients, and you can see those patterns of every Wednesday, the numbers go crazy. And it's like, what the heck are you doing every Wednesday? And you look at it, it's a faculty meeting of something that stresses them out every week, and it's not that, you can't look at it and think, oh my gosh, every time I have that meeting, it's only once a week. But yeah, but if that is jacking up your numbers for the next 3 days because you have a faculty meeting with somebody that stresses you out that bad, then you really have to do some soul searching and say, is my job worth my health? Because this faculty meeting every week of my life, taking 3 days out of my health journey to get back on track because I'm so stressed out over something that can be controlled or changed. You really got to take that into consideration on your life when you're navigating a lifestyle of, I don't want stressed out for work. I do not want stressed out with somebody because of something I can control and help and heal from. I don't want to deal with life like that. I would really consider a different job if I had to, be that stressed out to work with somebody. Come on in, Susan. You got a question?
Yeah. What is this? How does Keto Mojo keep track of these things, and how do you see it?
Keto Mojo, I have a patient portal as a practitioner. I have a dashboard that when my coaching people put their numbers, like when you check your numbers at home, it will come up on my dashboard here. And I'll be able to see it. So then I can go in and see your charts. I can see what trends, I can see what days of the week you do good. Every Sunday your numbers go crazy. You have family dinner and your family's over and driving you insane. You will see exactly those patterns of what's going on in your life. Or you go on date night every Saturday. You're in a restaurant that has crappy seasoning. You made it just a ribeye, but you don't know what oils they cook it in. You don't know what spices they're putting on it. All of those things you will narrow down and be able to pinpoint for your exact chemistry because you're going to see the trends of what's in there. So it's pretty sweet.
How do I see my trends, or just you?
I can see them on my patient portal. Do you have a Keto Mojo?
Yeah.
Okay. You should be able to go into your app. And I'm awful with the app, but I think you can bring it up in your app and it will go down through the chart. You will be able to see your readings in that app and you'll be able to see a trend, the charts and stuff for you. If you don't, give me a call and I'll help you through it. I can put you on my dashboard and we'll look through it together and see. I know how to do it this way. So if you have any trouble with the app, just let me know.
Great. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions? Anything I can help anybody with? Nope. Come on in, Vicky. Jump on in. Hang on, we got you muted. There you go.
There you go. How do we get so that you can see our numbers?
If you're in, are you one of my coaching people? Are you in my coaching group? For journeytoketo.com is my website. If you want coaching backup, if you want personal coaching or group coaching, is journeytoketo.com. You can go sign in over there. And I put all my coaching people in my dashboard. So, and then if we have a struggle, then I can run down here and look. You can just text me and say, hey, look at my numbers, what's going on? And it just helps you isolate and figure things out. And if you have it on your phone, there is a way you can go to your app and bring it up to see your numbers so you can see the trends. Right. I'm not sure how to do the app as much, but I know how to do my dashboard. So that's where it's there. Yep. Okay. Just text me or call me.
Okay.
All right. Any other questions? Anything I can help you with? Is everybody good? All right. Everybody have a good week. I will throw out there a couple of times. I am going to start for all my coaching people, anybody that still wants in. We have one more day for the brains course. We're going to start Wednesday at noon Eastern. So we will be in the brains course starting. This is the brains course of Dr. Boz. Is all of my people that are on my pages and in my groups. I'm giving you a $750 coupon off of the brains course. So if you want in that, just text me so we can work quickly to get you in by Wednesday so you could start with us. If you're a cancer survivor, give me a text. I have a special code for the cancer survivors to get in, save a little bit of extra. So it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month. I want to get all my breast cancer girls in here if we can. And any of the cancer survivors, we have work to do. It's a continual work in process that we got to do. But anything we can help, I will be starting a new coaching session as soon as I get my schedule figured out from my surgery and everything. I'm trying to get everything in my calendar this week. So we will get it all figured out. But if anybody wants in, let me know. journeytoketo.com is the website. You can sign up for everything over there or just text me. I can help you walk through it. It's no big deal. Everybody have a good night. We love you. And thank you for all being here. We love you guys. Have a great night.